So as we've seen, the Racing Post is a newspaper, it's a website, but it's also a TV channel through RPTV, the Racing Post's very own in-house TV service. It provides features, it provides previews, it provides reviews, many of which are presented from our Megabooks TV studio. Let me take you inside, where you see today's presenter, Jess Lamb, putting the finishing touches, applying the mic, makeup already done, nice blue jacket on, Rob Watson assisting, and any second now, Jess will take her position. She'll look into the autocue, she'll get herself ready, and she will start broadcasting.
A skulk in the big race of the day. Confused? Well, a skulk is the collective noun for a group of foxes. And that's what we had in the 5 furlong handicap.
And that's Wednesday's review, but join us tomorrow when we'll have the best of the action from Sandown.
So the racing review has been filmed, the afternoon's racing is over, and the deadline for the first edition of the Racing Post is getting ever closer. It's now just gone 5:30. 8 o'clock is when the first edition goes, and on a day when there's been so many big breaking news stories, the pressure back there is sure to be intense. So it's 26, the edition is now in its final furlong, and the editor is looking at page proofs. Bruce, what at this stage are you looking for? What are you doing with the pages?
Well, basically they're getting their final check now. They've been through the subbing process, they've all been laid out, and they come to me like this in the form of individual proofs, just to be read and checked. I mean, if I've got time, I'll check every single word on every single page. Sometimes it's not possible, but generally speaking, I'll give them all a good look before they go. There's a variety of problems, some not just the actual quality of the copy itself, but things like captions, pictures, are they correctly cropped, are they the right pictures, could the layout of the page be any different? There's a variety of things to look through. I mean, generally speaking, they come to me, you know, in a state that's pretty much how they should, you know, hit the streets, but there's just occasions, well, when I need to make some changes and just give them the final okay. So that process basically takes up probably the last 3 or 4 hours of my day, and it's the most intense time. All the copies being gathered, all the stories are in, the subs have laid them out onto the page, and now it's just a question of making sure that they're clean in terms of mistakes, they read well, the headlines are all right, we've got the correct pictures in and that kind of thing. So it's a little bit like walking across a minefield, you know, you want to try and make sure that you spot the mistakes now rather than when you pick up your paper on the breakfast table the next morning.
And Bruce, today you've had fixture lists, you've had Levy, where the conduit story coming through quite late. How busy an edition has this been?
It's been a really busy one actually. I mean, we came in, when you come in the morning, you always like to have 1 or 2 things that you know are going to appear, so that you've got a couple of bankers, and you know, we knew we were going to have Price was on the Eagle, so that was great. We knew we were going to get the fixture list, and Howard Wright and Thomas Segal have obviously given us plenty on that. So even with those, plus the features we already had, you know, it was always going to be a fairly busy edition. And as tends to happen when you've already got some good stuff lined up, you get a lot more stuff dropping. I mean, as you say, the agreement for the levy next year and the big cut in prize money, you know, they're extras, and Ryan Moore's made his mind up on who he's going to ride. So there's plenty of happening. Likewise in sport, I mean, Kevin Peterson has been cropped, and the 4 footballers have been done for betting on the game. So it's all happening today, and it's just an example of how newspapers, you never quite know what you're going to get in the morning, and that's what makes it such a lovely job. As you know, Lee, it's always a different day, and there's always something different, and at the end of the day, you've always got an end product. So it's always good fun. Sometimes it goes from being fun to a little bit stressful, but we love it.
And so here we have it, the 120 pages that make up the July 23rd edition of the Racing Post. On the front, we have that late-breaking Levy story on page 3, the other late breaker about Ryan Moore running conduit in the King George, and further into the title, a whole heap of coverage of the fixture list announcement. On the back, as Phil Ages predicted, 2 leads relating to Kevin Peterson and to the football betting scandal. And that then is issue 7679 of the Racing Post. I'm off now to work on issue 7680.